Hey guys, I hope you're having a really great Monday, and today I want to do a really quick spoiler-free book review of Vicious by V.E. Schwab. And I'll go ahead and start off by saying that this book was amazing. I loved it. I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I just thought it was so fantastic. But without further ado, let me get into my non-spoiler review. So I actually listened to Vicious by V.E. Schwab on audiobook, and the narrator that read it was Noah Michael Levine, and I'll be honest, I was not a big fan of him. I did not like his narration, and I thought this book probably could have been a 5 out of 5 stars had it not been for that, but his voice just didn't capture me. The story captured me, but his voice just kind of irritated me a little bit. It's not that it was a bad voice, it's just I didn't want to listen to him. But anywho, this book is about two main characters, though it does kind of switch through other characters' point of views. Our two main characters are Victor and Eli, and they both started out as college roommates and really bright, brilliant young students who had this really great career ahead of them just because they were so intelligent, and they were pretty good friends too, though there were some issues with jealousy and competition with Victor towards Eli. Other than that, they were pretty good friends. And during their senior year at their university, they each picked a thesis, with both characters focusing on the effects of adrenaline on the body. However, Victor was taking more of a scientific, realistic approach that we would probably think is reasonable, and then Eli was actually trying to find out how EOs were created, or if they're kind of born with it, and EOs are extraordinary people. So during their research of the thesis, each of them kind of like really get into their project, but Victor finds himself leaning more towards Eli's project, wondering why he's getting into it, why he's researching it, and is just kind of seeing it from a very scientific point of view, whereas Eli kind of puts a religious spin on it. And there's definitely a lot of undertones of faith and belief and religion in this book that's just woven in so beautifully and just leaves a lot to question, which I love that about Schwab's writing, is she has so much depth to her writing. There are so many undercurrents to it that you just kind of question a lot of different things. But as Eli gets more and more into his research, it gets a little bit dangerous, and he kind of takes it to the next level, trying to actually create himself and Victor as EOs. And they have some near-death experiences, and as the experimentation gets more and more, things get a little bit trickier, and something very tragic happens that sets both Victor and Eli on very separate paths. And it's kind of set up that Victor is the anti-hero in the story and Eli is the heroic figure in the story. However, Schwab again goes deeper with that, with questions of what is good and bad, who is really a villain. There's a lot of questioning of morality and revenge and faithfulness, and I just love how in-depth this book gets with all of that, and it's just so fantastic to just sit there and think about all of these different themes that are kind of woven together to make this really great, heroic, anti-heroic story. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but the writing's set up to where you kind of, you pick sides, definitely. And while neither character is definitely bad, they are neither definitely good. However, Eli is definitely set up more to be the hero, despite some of the things that he does throughout the story, and Victor is definitely set up to be more of a bad guy, and he even kind of has a lot of the bad guy qualities. Like when we see heroes in stories, they're not typically very jealous and vengeful. Of course, those are some qualities that they have to a certain degree, but not to the degree that Victor has them. And I'll be honest, I found myself siding with Victor a whole lot more throughout this entire story, even despite the kind of tricky beginning that he had. Overall, this book was so fantastically written. Like I said, I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend it. However, I would say definitely go for the physical book. I would not do the audiobook. I actually really want to get the physical book. I might just get it on ebook or something so it's a little bit cheaper, but I definitely want to read it again where I can actually see the words, and I feel like I'd be able to better visualize this world and really tear into it the way that I wanted to do, which I couldn't with the audiobook just because the narrator just wasn't my favorite. I TRUDDY read this book with Gretchen from Chic Nerd Reads and Trina from Between Chapters, so definitely check out their channel for their review that is going up today as well, and I will link all that in the down bar below. Okay guys, that has been it for this review today. Go ahead and comment in the comment section below some of your thoughts on this book if you have read it, and if you haven't, go ahead and comment down below what you think is a traditional villain and what makes them kind of villainous, and then also comment on what are heroic qualities that you could possibly see in a villain. By the way, if you want to see this makeup look, stay tuned for Wednesday because that's when it's going up. And it's going to be a little strange because I'm not very good at makeup, but hey, a girl can try, right? Right. Alright guys, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird!